In this video, we will be going over the Quickie haircut. This is a regular, run-of-the-mill haircut. This may be the majority of your clientele. So the first thing that you'll do is the consultation. You always want to look them in the eyes and say your name before walking them to your chair. Some examples of things you might say initially are, how are you wanting your haircut today? You can say, tell me about your hair lately. How are you feeling about it? What are your hair goals today? You can say, I see you're booked for a quickie. Do you have some photos of haircuts that you like as reference? You can say, talk to me about what you do and do not like about your hair when you get a haircut. Something that you don't want to do is, what guard do you want? Because you don't even know if they want a guard or if they know what guard they want. So you want to give them the opportunity to tell you about their hair, not speak in barber lingo. So dissecting the haircut a bit, a client's language may not match your professional barber language. Pictures help make sure that you are on the same page about what these words actually mean in terms of their haircut. You can talk about the neckline. Do they like it to be tapered down where it's faded a little tighter at the bottom? Do they like it square, which is a very traditional shape? Do they like it rounded, which is used less often, but you still hear it from time to time? You can talk about the length on the sides. You can talk about guard numbers here, but you can also use more layperson's words, such as, do they want to see the skin poking through? And we know what that means. Do they want it to be more faded or more of a solid length? So if they say they like a 3 or they like a 4, are they wanting that 4 to go from top to bottom, or are they wanting that 4 to go down to a 2 down at the nape? You can talk about the length at the top, especially how they wear it. Does it need to be out of their eyes? Does it need to be able to comb back? Do they run their hands through it a lot throughout the day? Holding the hair straight up to show them what you'll cut is fine, but they may not understand how that translates when it lays back down. All right, so you guys will discuss a little bit more. The consultation is so important. Most haircut complaints come from a lack of communication in the consultation, not because of a lack of skill from the barber. Think about where their hair is now and where they want to go with the style. Is this a realistic goal? Now is when you would tell them, hey, I really don't think that this is going to work with your hair type. This picture just is not the same kind of hair. You should touch the hair. Move it around with your hands and comb. Discuss with them what you think their requested length will respond like with their hair type and cowlicks. If they're asking for it to be a lot shorter and you notice that their cowlick is really strong, now would be the time to tell them your concerns. Show them with your fingers where their requested length will fall. Clients may not have a good idea of what 2 inches off means. Sometimes it's just all they know what to say. Especially in the front, you'll show them exactly where 2 inches actually is. Make sure to know ahead of time if you plan on blending the top to the sides completely or if there will be a disconnection. Remember that clients don't always understand what words like disconnection means. Try to explain it to them in normal people words. So again, this is where your pictures are really important to find out if they're looking for an undercut with a hard part or a blended haircut. So the first thing that you'll cut is the sides. And I just wanted to note here that there are many methods to fade hair, and this is just one of them. Feel free to combine this with other methods and use whatever feels effective for you and your clients. In this method, you will set yourself up a roadmap that will lead you throughout the whole haircut. Initially starting out, we want to set our baselines. And to note, when cutting these baselines, make sure to use an upward scooping motion to encourage blending from each cut. So, whatever you guys discussed in your consultation, you'll take a 4, 5, or 6 guard to remove bulk through to the curve of the head. Now, depending on what the client requested, cut your shortest length just above the ears and to whatever fade height you discussed. Stay low if needed and leave yourself enough space to fade later. So what this means is that even if they asked for a 2, even if they asked for a 1, you'll start out with a long guard, a 4, 5, or 6, and just get the bulk out so that you can see where you're going. And then you take your shortest length. So let's say, for example, they asked for a 2 to a 4 fade. You'll take your little 2 and you'll put it just above the ears, and you'll go all the way around the head just like that. And this is setting your baselines. Nothing will get shorter than this. So now we want to fade it together. You should see distinct levels on the head of your 2 or 3, whatever different lengths you need to connect. So if the client did in fact ask for a 4 or 5 guard all the way up, you can skip this step because they asked for a solid length. Most of the time you'll do some sort of fading. Open the clipper all the way and attach your 3 guard. Swipe upwards and slowly close the clipper blade. That's the lever on the side of the clipper as you move lower down the sides of the head. So think about having your 4-5 guard all set up with your baseline, so the 3 is just shorter than what you have. So you'll open your clipper, swipe, 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 and then close it slowly. So you're slowly getting shorter as you go lower on the head. You'll do the same thing with a 2 guard. Complete the same process as before, and you'll just swipe upwards with a scooping motion, and you'll go slightly lower with every bit that you close the lever on your clipper. This will encourage blending, and you'll just keep doing this all the way around the sides until you will actually begin to see the hairs fading together. You will see the weight removing with each swipe. And I know that that's a really oversimplified way to describe fading, but that is really all that we're doing whenever we fade. We're using an upward scooping motion and using shorter lengths and longer lengths, and everything connects in between. So now that we need to blend it, take a step back, look at your sides and back in the mirror. You may ask the client about the sides if you like, but it might confuse them since the top isn't cut yet. Use your best judgment, because they cannot always imagine what the rest of the haircut is going to look like. So maybe the sides are fine, but they may tell you that they need them shorter just because the top's not cut yet. So take a look at what you've done, adjust and alter the fade as needed. Use this opportunity to go shorter, fade tighter, fade the sideburns, or taper the neckline shorter than the rest of the sides. Always refer to the consultation, but feel free to ask your client questions as you go through this process. So now for the top. The consultation will lead you to the length and shape that is appropriate for the top. A pompadour or comb-over look will suggest leaving the bang area longer. A crop or a short bang will suggest a shorter fringe increasing in length towards the back. A traditional men's shape is a straight line from front to back, and the shape of the head naturally means that the bang area will be just slightly longer. Creating a guideline at the top of the head. Create a mohawk parting from front to back about 1 inch wide. This will go from the forehead to past the cowlick in the back. It's a vertical mohawk parting. Decide whether you'll increase or decrease in length from front to back. Remember that the top point of the head, the very top of the curve, will create the shortest length when you hold the hair straight up because of head shape, because the head is round. Being mindful of cowlicks and head shape, cut the desired length into your mohawk section. So now we're going to cut everything to our guideline. You'll finish cutting the top. Take horizontal sections from side to side about 1 inch thick, which will end up including your guideline from your mohawk section, which is in the center. Cut each horizontal section holding the hair straight up to match the guideline in the middle. You can cross-check by taking sections from front to back and checking your work. So connecting the top to the sides, and again, disregard this part if the haircut is in fact an undercut or disconnected in any way. So think of your sections being like beach balls, which the top of the head will be the center of your little beach ball. So think of the head as having slices of this beach ball, which will be your vertical sections. Hold this vertical section straight out from the head, which is perpendicular from the floor. So if you think of a square, it'll come straight out. And then look for your foreguard from before and look for your length at the top. And you'll just cut a straight line from straight up and down. You can get artistic here and angle your fingers. You can angle out, you can angle in, whatever fits the haircut. But for a standard starting point, you want to cut straight up and down and blend your short length up to the top. So now we've really gotten the haircut finished. Take a look at everything that you've done, take a step back, and adjust as needed. Look at the haircut through the mirror. Don't just look at it straight on. Ask the client how they are feeling about the haircut. And I want to note here that it's pretty awkward when you say, "How do you like it? Do you like it?" And then they have to say yes or no. And it puts them in an awkward situation because they may not know yet. They're still thinking about it. They just got this haircut. So if you say, "How do you feel?" it's a more open-ended question for them to answer. And you always want to finish with a hot towel and a neck shave. You take your hot towel out of the warmer, fold it long ways, make sure it's not too hot, place it on their neck. Use your lather, shave the neck appropriately, and then wipe off the excess with your towel. Use your aftershave with your hands and massage into their neck. After this, you'll style and blow dry as desired. Everyone has a different style here, but you do want to make sure that they're not soaking wet. Make sure to use at least one product, even if it's just a leave-in conditioner or a tonic. You want them to have something in their hair to make it feel like a special haircut day. So those are some general steps for a quickie haircut. Let me know if you have any more questions in the comments, and I'll be sure to get back to you. Thanks. Bye.